Hi, this is Mark from SMPostcards again with another video on reselling vintage postcards. So today I'm going to go over what's sold in our eBay, Etsy, and HipPostcard store. I have 15 cards selling on eBay and only 3 on Etsy and 0 on Hip. Mostly 80% of our postcards sell on eBay, 15% on Etsy, and only 5% on Hip. Our main focus is eBay because that's where most of them sell, but Etsy is growing on a slight curve. Hip is kind of staying flat. It does jump up and down, but eBay is the one that we focus the most on. Also, I have another special topic today of postcards that people have probably seen around. Continental and Jumbo postcards. What are they? And I'll explain a little of the history on them. And I have some examples to show you. Then I have another term on postcards. Back. Yeah, just B-A-C-K. Back. So there's a little thing about what's the back and what's the front on postcards, and I hope I can help clear some of that up, or at least guide you in one way or the other. And at the end of the video, I'll go over some more viewer comments that I'm getting from the videos and emails and answer some of the questions that people are asking, which I think would benefit all. So let's go ahead and get started. So first I'm going to go through a bunch of the cards on eBay. Then I'll get into the special topic and do a few more cards that sold, get into the term, and then finish up with the viewer comments. Now, as I go through these cards, it's not all about price, but most of our cards sell between $4.45 and $5. There is some exceptions, never really lower than that, but some of them can be higher, and I'll call those out, but otherwise it's between $4 and $5. You want to look at the variety, the subject, the condition, the type of card, the era, is it chrome, linen, divided back. Those are the things that you want to look for. So the main goal of doing this is so when you walk into an antique mall or a flea market, or you're going to buy a lot of cards and going through them, you feel comfortable looking through the cards, knowing that, hey, I've seen that sell before, and what are the top picks. I usually take about 3 passes through a box. The first pass is real quick, boom, boom, is it worth my time? The second pass I get a little deeper, and the third pass I go real detailed and grab out the rest. Now, do I miss some? Sure. But a lot of the boxes will be picked through, but not everybody knows everything. So it's whatever you're looking for. So the first card that sold on eBay was Linen Allen Museum, New London. It's the 19th century kitchen. So it's a picture of a kitchen. So it's got the wood burning stove in the back and stuff. This was a chrome card, unposted. Sold between $4 and $5. Next one, a lot of people would not post this card. It's called kind of like a view card, but it's the Falls at Yellowstone National Park. A vertical card since it's up and down, but you can see the falls right there, the trees. So if someone likes that card, it was posted in 1950. You can see on the back here that someone wrote that date up there. You want to be careful with those if you can't confirm that. Sometimes people put it in their collection and put a date on it. But this was 1950 and this is June 3rd, 1950. So I would say that's confirmed. And it has a 1-cent stamp, so it looks good. But this is a linen card. It's on very good stock and it is posted. So, but that's the Falls at Yellowstone. I list everything. So if you really want to see what sells, go into our store and look at our solds. And you can actually look through and see the variety that people are going. Because we don't, if the card's good, we put it up. And you'll see some of these cards in here today that was kind of different. The next one, a while back, if you haven't checked out the videos, I bought about 20,000 naval ships postcards and a few other things. And a couple videos from now coming up, I'm going to have an update where I'm at with that. But basically, this naval postcards, the 20,000 cards, is a lot of one listing. So there's a lot of quantity per one card, but there's a lot of cards. I always say you want to be careful when you're looking through a lot of cards that you want to have a variety. Well, this is kind of falling into that. These are all naval ships. So I got to be very careful as I'm listing postcards that I don't just list for the next 6 months, just list Navy boats, because not everybody's looking for Navy boats. These are going to take a long time to get the return on investment. I'm doing okay but they're going to trickle through. They're falling right in line with what I do, so that it's a great add-on to my store. But this could take me 5 years to sell a majority of these cards, so it's not one of those quick flips. The sell-through rate on postcards is very low. If you go to the thrift store and you find a shirt that's a good brand and everything, you put it in your store for 40 bucks, it could sell overnight. A postcard might have to sit for a long time to sell through, until that one person looks through it and find it. So a lot of people that start postcards, a percentage of them will start postcards, and then when they're not seeing the cash flow coming in, they start coming off, and then they stop selling postcards. So leave the ones they have, but then they say selling postcards not lucrative. There is a learning curve, and it's a slow game and going up. Now, if you find the high expensive cards waiting for the last dollar, you're going to have the same problem with the sell-through rate. But if you find some real good cards, those might sell right away, then your other ones will peter down. But postcards is a long game. So it's great for an add-on to a store. While you're making money with the other stuff, you're growing your postcard business. So this naval card is the USS Shangri-La CVS 38. Most of the cards I have are chrome cards, unused, and you can see the name is right up there. Now, a lot of times these cards this was commissioned in 1969, so that's post-war per eBay's category when you select the item specifics. So I can get it on here. If not, then I would just take the name of that boat and put it in Wikipedia, and it'll tell me the commission date and what wars this was in. So there's a little bit of research on some of them, but most of the boats I'm getting into right now are post-war. And there's anything from aircraft carriers like this to tank landing boats. There's a box up here that says foreign ships. So those are going to take a little bit long. I got another box to go through for Coast Guard. Those are really nice to do because those are pretty cool. But that's one of the things. A lot of people that are buying these Navy boats are saying thank you. They were on that boat for 4 years. They're buying a couple of them. One person bought a couple for their grandpa, etc. So it's doing exactly what I wanted. It's getting these cards out of the closet, out to people that want them. So like it's going to take a while to sell all these and get the money back, etc. So, but that's the Shangri-La, and that's sold for $4.45. The next one is Soldiers Memorial Gate, Brown University, Providence, Rhode Island. It's a linen card, and that's the Memorial Gate right there. Unposted, nice stock. That yellowing around the outside is not old. That's part of the card. It's like a yellow they put in there. But linen cards, you can feel them. Now, they're not made out of linen. They're just higher reg count, and you can tell by the blue the different palette they put in there. But that's Brown University, so you want to make sure you put Brown University in your title. Any kind of university, Rhode Island, and that's probably there. And that's sold between $4 and $5. The next one is the same type of card, kind of, if you look at it. It's a linen card of Porter Lake and paddle boats. Right there you can see that yellowing around the side. That's part of the card. It's not because it's old, but this is also a linen card. Linen cards are pretty cool cards. Are starting to come in more favor. This was posted in 1954, right there, and it's got a 2-cent stamp on it. That's not a bad looking card. It's got some paddle boats back there. Not real big. If the paddle boats were bigger, it would have probably sold a little faster. The next one, I sell a lot of these types of cards. When I'm going through boxes, I always pick up the swimming pools with the swimming suits from, this is probably 60s or 70s. This is the Desert Highlands Hot Springs in Desert Hot Springs, California. I always get Hot Springs mixed up with, different places, Colorado or whatever. But that's the swimming pool, and there's a person in a swimming pool. So either someone went there or someone likes the vintage look. The 60s of this, nice blue sky, chrome card, unposted, good stock, good edges, a nice $4 to $5 card. Now in our postcard store, we sell other types of trade cards, as you'll see today as I go through. And I also sell pack of cards. I always experiment with stuff, anything to get people into the store anything to get $1. That's what you're doing. You want to get the end result of everything you do is get to where the person checks out and pays for your product to the point of your shipping. Everything you do. So if you're not shipping in one day, someone else is. Everything you're doing, your title, looking for postcards, gets you to that point. So sometimes I don't understand why people wait 3-4 days to ship a postcard. Find that 5 to 10 minutes and get it out there. Change your shipping rate. Get on top of people. There's 9 to 10 million postcards on eBay. You got to get that upper edge. You got to do something different than anybody else. If you do it all the same, when my postcard comes up and your postcards come up and you got a 3-day shipping day and you don't offer returns, mine's going to win. Now, if we're both on the same thing, it could be price. But if a lot of times when I'm looking for postcards, I'll find the postcards, but I don't know that seller. I'll go over and look at one of my preferred sellers and see if they have the card. If they do, I'll buy it from him, even though maybe it's $1 more, because I know what I'm getting. So you want to be consistent on that also. You got to find that little thing that makes you different. You got to get it out there. It's so saturated, is what it is. But these right here are I sold a gentleman Rugrats. It was a cartoon. I remember my kids watching it, and I actually watched it too. But these are from, I think I can't read the date, but these are packages of Rugrats trading cards, and they're sealed, and that's how I listed them. But each one of these sold for $4.95, so that's $9-10 worth of sales, and they'll fit into the eBay standard envelope into it there because it's not that thick. So you want to, if you can get these really cheap and put them up there, they could be just like postcards. So I'm going to do one more card on eBay, and then I'm going to get into the special topic of Continentals and Jumbo. So this one I probably could have priced up a little bit more, but that I work on an average. I manage my business by a monthly average, and I manage my business by an average price. I don't jump up and down in prices and stuff. So this card is of the Greyhound, the bus that goes to the sea. It's going across the 7-mile bridge down by Key West, Florida, and that's the Florida Greyhound. And what this is probably the reason I didn't post it up, because it's a chrome card. It's kind of an artist drawing, and that's the bus right there. I maybe could have got a little bit more money for that one, but you know what? I'm okay with that because it's another card sold. I key off on volume, and someone got a card that they like. But that's the Greyhound bus there, and it's sold between $4 and $5. So now let's get into the special topic. These cards I normally don't seek out or source. I don't look for Continental cards or Jumbo cards. I just can't seem to sell them. Either they're too new, or I just don't put the effort into them because I just don't see the value to me. But then there's a lot of people out there that do a great job. And you'll see one of the cards I sold here is a Continental today. But I'm just not really set up for Continentals. I haven't sold them in years. One here, one there. Will I turn them away? No, but a lot of times they go to the flea market. So I wanted to talk about that because I got a lot of emails saying, why don't they sell? I don't know. If someone wants to leave me a tip in the comments, let me know. But they are nice cards. They do have a lot of room. So I'm going to put it down here what the definition of Continental postcard is. And after I do the Continentals, I'll do the Jumbo. So a Continental card is larger than a standard postcard, size measuring 4 to 6 inches. So 6x4 card. If you just say Continental in your description, size card like I do, most people know it's 6x4. Most of the cards I deal with are 3.5, 5.5 standard cards. Continentals are 6x4. They were officially sanctioned Universal Postal Union to be mailed between members starting October 1st, 1925. So these were sanctioned for the Universal Postal Union in 1925. Germany was the first to enlarge government issue postals in 1926. So it was approved in 1925 and then 1926. Some publishers and distributors boycotted these larger cards. So some publisher and distributor boycotted some of these cards. Reluctant, by the Americans and British to accept the larger format used on the European continent may have led to them being called Continentals. let me say that again, reluctance by Americans and British to accept this larger format. So Americans and British didn't want to accept this format of Continental 6x4 cards as they were being used on the European continent, may have led to them being called Continentals. So that's that little gray area. Someone that I got this information from thinks they were called Continentals because they were used on the European continent. So Continental in size, I always wondered about that. It's just Continentals because it was on the European continent. I'll go with it. The demand for these cards with more writing space would eventually cause other publishers to start producing cards in this format. So this card here doesn't have all the room that some publishers and marketing people probably wanted. So eventually they started producing the cards that give them more writing space and more room to put some coupons, and you'll see that with the jumbo cards especially. The Continental postcards were not popular in the United States until the 1970s. So these are newer cards in the popularity in the States, so maybe that's why they don't do as well as some of the older 3.5 by 5.5. But I do see them starting to pick up, I think. But to me, they're just a little bit too new, and they're just bigger. And they'll fit in my envelope and stuff like that, but they're just bigger. I want to say the word faker, more fake, but they're not really. They're just a larger postcard. So I still struggle with Continentals. The prices on these cards vary. Most of them I see are lower priced than standard cards. And when I go to antique malls and stuff, I'll see 50 cents on them instead of $1. Probably because they're newer and they're more mass produced nowadays than some of the 3.5 cards and stuff. But they really vary on what the subject is and who's selling them. So I didn't really tie a price down, but I still sell them $4 to $5, unless they're Disney. Now Disney Continentals I do sell. I do look for those. Anything Disney, and they will sell. I'm going to show you an example of a Continental card, and this is one of the naval boats. Now like I said, I didn't have a lot of Continental cards up for Disney and stuff, but as I was going through the Navy ship lot and stuff, I found a Continental, and I said, you know what, I'm going to use that for the video. So this is the USS Blueback in Oregon. It's now a museum piece, but this is a Continental card on there. Now if you notice, there's a lot more room. If I hold it up against a standard 3.5 card, it's let me see if I can find a different one that's a little better. This one's a little darker. So this here, you can see with me moving it here, how much more room you have for writing on space. It's not a lot. It gives you a few more inches, but people can actually put more coupons, they can put more marketing messages, and the message has a lot more room back here along with the address. So people, I'm not a real small writer either, but that's what a Continental card is compared to, it just gives you that extra space there. Now these will fit into the best envelope. This envelope is 6.5 by 4.5, so it does fit in there. My other postcards that I got with the naval thing, they're a little under 5 by 7. I have to go to a different type of envelope. I'm still experimenting on what the best cost will that be. But that's Continentals. Now I'm going to show you Jumbo. People get these confused sometimes, Continentals and Jumbo. There is a difference. So Jumbo postcards, sometimes referred to as billboard postcards. So if you hear billboard postcards, think Jumbo. If you hear Jumbo, think bigger than Continental. If you hear Continental, bigger than standard. So sizes in postcards do mean something. Jumbo postcards used for marketing and has enough room for coupons and other marketing messages. And I have some examples I'm going to show you. Jumbo postcard sizes measure more than 4.5 to 6 inches. So they're bigger than 6 inches by 4.5 inches, up to a maximum of 6 1/8 by 11.5 inches. And again, these prices, these are very marketing based, very promotional, mass produced, mostly chrome. You're not going to see older vintage ones probably, unless they're specially made for a novelty. But the prices are just like the Continentals. They go up and down. I've seen them really cheap, 10 cents in a mall, up to $4, $5, $10, depends what it is. But the jumbo postcards, I got more examples of here. So here's one of a bear. And just to give you a size, that's a standard postcard right there. That's what it is compared to a standard. And this is what it's compared to a Continental. So if you look at all three together, you go standard 3.5, 6x4 Continental, and then the bigger jumbo. I even got bigger ones to show you here. So these are what they call billboard or jumbo postcards, and that's just the back of it there. This is an even bigger one. Let me put this up here to give you a size. That's a standard postcard. This is a St. Louis Zoological Garden. So this is some guy training a horse on there. But that's a big mother postcard right there. Same zoological. These are chimpanzees and some kind of Chinese dragon thing going on. So these are performing chimpanzees. Again, this is the 3.5 card compared to the jumbo. You know, you're going to get these in the souvenir shops, whatever, but these are billboard or jumbo postcards. Next one is the zoology garden. The reason I picked these because I picked up a bunch of stuff and these were in there, and these are the elephants at the zoo. I thought it was pretty neat, and people would probably frame these. If they mail them, you're going to be on letter size, letter prices on there. But they'll go to the mail. And this is a big kitty. Same place, St. Louis Zoological. Just a big kitty, soft kitty. So I hope they fed them. And that's what that is. So now when you get into other ones, my wife went to an antique mall, and I wasn't with her, but she called and said, hey, they got these big postcards. She's not really into postcards, don't know the value and stuff like, you know, we do. So she really didn't know. She thought they were unique. She thought they were maybe more valuable than they are. And I said, no, they're not. But pick up a couple because I'll use them for the, you know, to show the people. But these are 2 comic postcards. So this is one where he's down in the sun, dreaming there. So that's another jumbo postcard or a billboard postcard. And this is one of the same one right here. And sometimes these are called saucy postcards. I have a video come up on saucy. That means, you know, sexy postcards, but really comic, saucy postcards are right on the edge of there. And then the last jumbo postcard, which again goes to show you that it's bigger than the 3.5s. Go over the sizes of these again. So the first one here, right here, that's the 3.5 by 5.5, which is your standard postcard. Then you get into your jumbo postcard or your Continental postcard, 6x4, and then you got in the back here your jumbo or billboard postcard. So that's the difference between the larger postcards. Now I've seen postcards, you know, bigger, smaller, and stuff. Those are the novelty things about that. But all the prices for Continental and Jumbo, ICE, just about the same on there. Any questions about Continental Jumbo postcards? Leave it in the comments. But Continental Jumbo postcards, who knew? Now let me go through some more postcards that sold on eBay, and when I finish those up, I'll go through the terminology for today. Back. What is the front, what is the back? I'm going to tell you about the back. So the next card, I don't know if anybody else would post this. I post everything. I list everything. This is a spider. I think it's called a Golden Garden Spider. Let me see how this goes up. It looks like a vertical card. There's the spider. There's his unique web. Or does it go like this? Maybe it goes like this. But it's a picture of a spider. $4 to $5, and they bought a spider. So I added to my totem poles, my bridges, my rocks, my bushes. Now I sold a spider. I really don't even remember listing this, but it doesn't faze me. I list everything. It's a good stock card. Someone likes spiders. The next card here is Lido Beach, California, Sarasota. I actually have been there many times. Lido Beach used to be a top, around here somewhere, was a topless beach back in the 40s and 50s. Lido Beach is right there. There's a restaurant along Lido Beach as well, but that's in Sarasota. We go to Siesta Key every year. I've been doing that for over 25 years. And Lido Beach is right there. The next one is Rid Path Hotel and Motor Inn in Spokane, Washington. Kind of an artist drawing. You can see it glisten. See if I can make it go a little bit. There you go. It's a chrome card, and it was posted in 1965 with a 5-cent stamp on there. That stamp is pretty cool. It says United States, and it's a picture of a clown. I never caught my eye on one of those, but I'm not a stamp guy, but that was interesting. But this sold between $4 and $5. The next one is, oh god, I can't say the Rhyolite. I'll show it to you here in a second. It's a chrome card of a ghost town in Nevada. Ghost towns do well. If you get it in the title, make sure you put ghost town in there. But you can see the name, I think. Not real well. It's right there. But on the back here, that's the name of it, Rhyolite. But it's got some stuff going on. But what's kind of interesting, that doesn't look like it's part of the ghost town. It looks like some telecommunication tower or windmill or something. But that's not historic. But that's Rhyolite, ghost town in Nevada. Sold for $4 to $5. Entrance to Shaw Air Force Base near Sumter, South Carolina. Just a picture of an entrance of an Air Force base. If you ask me, it looks like 1950s, 1960s. Maybe that's out by Roswell. I don't know. But that's an entrance, just an entrance to a base. Someone probably trained there or been there, and they wanted this postcard. Chrome postcard, not posted, $4 to $5. Now, just like I was saying, Continental cards I don't sell. But with the boats, these naval ship postcards, I do have some Continentals with those. And this one I just posted yesterday, or listed, and it's the USS North Carolina, which is a museum now, a memorial. And this is a Continental card. It's a 6x4 card, as you can tell here. Now, it is a little short on this side, but I still call it a Continental. It's probably 3.5 inches, or a little bit over that, but it's not. Doesn't have the space up here. It does, but here not. But it's still a Continental card. It's chrome. It's newer, but that's what it looks like on the back. And this one wasn't curved. Some of them I've gotten and it's been curved just from the years of storage. But that's a Continental card, and I did sell $4 to $5. So that's all the cards on eBay. 15 of them. I got 3 left to go on Etsy, but we'll do that here after I do the term. So the term I got for today. Now, it does have kind of a long definition, and I kept it the same that I found. I found the best one. I did modify a few things in it, but I wanted to understand the front and back, or back or front. Which one on a postcard? Is this the front, or is this the back? Or is that the back, and this the front? So it's kind of like, you know, who you talk to sometimes, but most people that I talk to and what I know, this is the front with the picture, and this is the back where you write. That's what I stick with. Unless someone can convince me differently, but no one has been able to do that for years. So the back, I'm going to put it right down here. It might cover me up a little bit, but I wanted to go through and make sure I get the point across. Back, when used in reference to postcards, this is reference to postcards. You always want to have your reference. Has historically been a relative term. Since early government issued postals were only printed with postage on one side, that side was originally referred to as the front, and the unprinted side was called the back. Years later, after pictures became a common sight on postcards, the illustrated side began to be called the front, and the side for the message and postcard on postage was now the back. There were many transitional years when no consensus existed on this definition. So, and what they're talking about postals are those U.S. postals when they first came out. They would have a blank, nothing on the back, and they'd have a picture of George Washington with 1 or 2 cents right up here, and it say U.S. Postal or whatever, and all the postage was on the front and stuff, and then you put stuff on the back. That's what they called, that's what they're talking about here with the government, where postals were only printed with postage on one side. That side was originally referred to there. So where the stamp was on the postals was 1 to 2 cents with George Washington. They said that was the front. Well, now we put the stamp and the address on the back. So that's what they mean by front and back of a postcard. Most people I know, collectors and people I talk to, this is the front, this is the back. But if there is a concern, just keep talking to people, and I wouldn't argue about it. I would just, say, okay, I understand what you're saying. But front and back can be different. So let me go through the Etsy cards here. I only sold 3 cards on Etsy, but I had 15 on eBay and 0 on Hip. Might help you where you want to start. So this one here on Etsy is a Chrome card, Hello from Rio Booth. It's just a New Jersey, I believe, or Delaware. Rio Booth Beach is in Delaware. This one didn't have the Delaware on there, but that's what it is, the Chrome card. And you can see the beachgoers on here in some kind of main strip in the town. So this person bought that card and on Etsy, and then they bought this card, which is the Greetings from Rio Booth Beach, Delaware. So this is a more close-up shot. There's some guy there on the beach. It kind of look with the swimwear and the colors and stuff. It might be 1960s, 70s, maybe even older. But that's a unposted Chrome card. So this gentleman bought 2 Rio Booth cards. So if you put the city and the state in there, people did a search, these popped up, maybe hit their save searches under keywords that they put in there, and they bought both of them at the same time. So $4.45, that's $8-9 in sales. And the last card that I sold on Etsy, and the last one that I'll show you for what sold today, is Boston and Maine Railroad's locomotive number 1402. Now, one thing I found with locomotives, whenever I sell even the toys, I always put the locomotive number into the listing, and I make sure I got train or locomotive in the title, because people have a lot of saved searches. A lot of people collect trains. It's a niche market, but there's a lot of it out there. But this one's got the smokestack and stuff like that. I did see one of these coming out. It was right by my restaurant I had years ago in the 80s with some railroad tracks, and they brought this steam engine coming down the track. My God, was there so much steam and smoke coming out of that thing. It was just, it actually was so loud it was a little scary. Kind of make you step back for a minute, what's going on. But you could see the thing miles down the road coming up. But it was really cool to see, and they stopped right by the restaurant. And it was a steam engine. So that's everything that sold on those. And I have 1-day shipping, 60-day free returns, non-immediate payment on the stores. And these will go out the next day. So if they buy a card on Tuesday, they go out Wednesday. If they buy it on Friday, I ship out 6 days a week. Every morning I ship, I mail. So whatever sold, when I look at it in the morning, whatever sold goes out that day. Same with the toys and everything. And I think I've been to the post office to bring something there maybe only 1 time this year. The only time I go to the post office is to check my P.O. box, see if there's any returns or anything in it. Otherwise, they pick up right here at the home every day. I put a order in, so that cuts down on time. Anything you can do to cut down on the time. Viewer comments. I get viewer comments from emails, through the Facebook thing, which I really don't pay that much. Instagram and stuff like that, I don't pay attention that much to, but I do get them come through an email. And the viewer comments on the videos here on YouTube is where I mostly get a lot of them. So I'm going to go through a couple of these today that I wanted to share. First one came from a viewer. It says, great info on creating and using templates. We have eBay templates is what we use when we list. So like I got the naval ship one in there. I created, after I did a few of them, I knew what I needed to pick. I just created one called naval ships. So every time I list a new card, I click naval ships, and most of it's already filled in. Some people worried about, typing USS every time or the state every time, and they sit there and they sort the cards and stuff beforehand. they're spending the same amount of time I do in the templates. It's just how you're wired, whatever way works for you. I use a template. I know it's there. I got one for the magazine ads and stuff like that. Great info on creating and using templates. You deserve more subscribers. I like those comments. Yes, subscribers helps the channel grow, but that's not all it's all about. So if people want to subscribe, more power to them. They'll get notified when there's things, and it keeps them in their list. So when we put new videos up, we put a video up every Thursday, the longer ones like this, and Tuesday we put a short one up, and I'll throw special ones up here and there as things pop up. Next comment: how many postcards can you list per hour after they are scanned? I normally try to do 35 to 40. Once they're scanned, I have the template and stuff like that. I can do about 30 to 40 per hour. Now that can go up and down, depends on the complexity of the titles. Now if they're foreign, you might as well cut that, you know, real low, but almost down to maybe 10, because I got to translate them and stuff like that. So about 35 to 40 an hour is an average for me. So, and I try to do 60 cards a day. That's 50 on eBay and 10 on Etsy. Now the ones I put on eBay automatically transfer through the integration between Hip and eBay. So if I put it on eBay, it'll automatically go to Hip. So, but some days it's fewer. Most of the times maybe it might be fewer, but just because what's on the card, I want to make sure I get the keywords right. If I have to research, I'll put those to the side in my special folder, and then I'll spend some time on the researching. But I don't stop. Normal cards, I know between $4 and $5, they just go up. Anything special I see as I do those, I put them in the special folder, and then I'll sit here and research those cards a little deeper, maybe get a few extra dollars, or not. A lot of times it's or not. Next one is, right after I did the video where I put in there about doing all the what sold, because people really wanted to see them, this comment came out and said, I like seeing what's sold. So do I. And what sold videos are good, but they do take up time, so I want to make sure I try to keep the videos between 25 and 30 minutes. So sometimes I might not show all the what sold cards, but I'll tell you what's sold. But I'm trying to shorten it so I can get more cards in there so people can see that. So the other comment I get is, I see postcards sell real fast, and then sometimes other ones sit. Why? Most of the time that's because of saved searches, or your keywords in your title and your postcard and your descriptions. I have a video right here, and it's not a real long video, but I walk through why a postcard sells in 24 hours. One of the reasons why a postcard sells within 24 hours. Walk through there. There's a lot of stuff in that little video. If you really pay attention, I walk through keywords and I keep adding to them to get the number of postcards that are shown to the user down to a point it's managed. I actually show you on the computer how people do that and what other features that eBay has. So it's very important to understand that, and I think I got it all in one video, what I talk about on some of these videos. So not a hidden message in there, but it just shows you right there what happens. So video is right up here. Just go to our site or click on the video. That's all I got for today. For all the new people here, make sure you subscribe, hit the thumbs up. That way you'll be able to see the videos coming up. But we appreciate you watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.